Hi everyone! Before we start this video, we wanted to give all of you a big thank you. Today's topic is on 6 habits that may make people dislike you. Whether you like it or not, there are things that you do that make people dislike you. Have you ever walked into a room and there was a know-it-all in the vicinity? You can whip up a conversation on any topic and that person would act like an expert. Before you can even gather your emotions and thoughts, you already dislike the person. On the other hand, you might be that person that has something to say about everything. The problem is that we aren't always aware of the things that we do that make people dislike us. See if you can spot your behavior on the list we provided in this video. 6 habits that make people dislike you. 1. Acting too nice. It makes perfect sense that people will like you more when you are extremely kind and nice, right? Sorry to burst your bubble, but not really. Science has proven otherwise. According to a 2010 study by researchers at Washington State University and the Desert Research Institute, people tend to avoid working with people who appear to be too altruistic and unselfish. But why? Turns out, participants in the study said that the unselfish teammate made them look bad, while others suspected they had ulterior motives. 2. Asking too many questions. When you lead a conversation, asking questions to steer the topic is good. It tells the other person that you are interested in them. You need to be careful not to ask too many though. If you don't reciprocate and also tell them about your own experiences, this can come off as an interrogation. You need to balance the conversation and spill the beans from time to time. The Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that people start to dislike you when you are the only one asking questions. This could be in direct communication or through written communication like emails. 3. Dropping a personal bomb. Being honest is one of the most important things you can do in an interview or when you go out on a date. You want to present the best version of yourself as possible. What you don't want to do though is to disclose something extremely personal too early. This sends the message that you are inappropriate and cannot read the social signs and triggers. For example, it might be inappropriate to share your intimate details about your love life with people you just met. So, what are the things you could share with people you just met? Susan Spencer at Illinois State University found that speaking about hobbies and likes and dislikes will make you seem warmer and more likable. 4. You often hide your emotions. Somewhere along in your childhood, it became a common practice to hide and suppress your emotions. This is not the same as controlling your emotions, though. Studies have shown that people react better to a truthful display of emotions than hiding them. For example, someone made you upset because they said something that you think was insensitive. Instead of being passive-aggressive and giving them a cold shoulder, you sit down with them and calmly tell them how you felt when they said what they said. When you understand your emotions, you can express anger and sadness appropriately. Don't keep your emotions inside. It is bound to burst out into the open. 5. Acting like you don't like someone. You could potentially turn someone off when you don't express fondness for the person you're meeting. Have you ever heard of the term reciprocity of like? Well, it's actually a phenomenon. When we think someone likes us, we tend to like them as well. When we expect people to accept us, we act warmer towards them, according to a 2009 study by researchers at University of Waterloo and the University of Manitoba. Not sure how a person you're interacting feels about you? Act like you like them and they'll probably like you back. 6. Giving a weak handshake. Have you ever greeted someone and found they have a weak handshake? Do you find it off-putting when someone cannot shake your hand properly? If you do, you are not alone. When someone has a weak handshake, they come across as someone who cannot manage pressure. In a study done by the University of Alabama, it was found that undergraduates who had a weak handshake were less positive and likable. There are bound to be things that you do that will put people off. None of us are perfect, and we can't please everyone. However, that doesn't mean you can't try and change the way you do things. If you identify with any of the points mentioned, ask yourself these questions. Why do I do the things I do? What beliefs do I have that is causing these behaviors? These questions are the first step to understanding yourself more and altering your beliefs and behavior that do not serve you. What do you think about this list? Share with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share this video with someone who
welcome back to another video. Your love and support have enabled us to send your way another wealth of everyday psychology. So let's explore. Have you heard of borderline personality disorder, or BPD, before? It's a personality disorder that affects about 1 to 3% of the population. So what is BPD? People with BPD struggle with self-image and self-perception. Their behavior and view of others changes quickly as they battle waves of sadness, anger, or anxiety. It's linked to traumatic events, brain chemistry, and family history, but these factors aren't always present in people with the disorder. Hidden BPD is a type in which the symptoms of the disorder are internalized. They're not displayed outwardly, making its diagnosis difficult. This leads your friends, partner, or family members to misunderstand your actions as having a toxic personality or a different mental disorder like anxiety rather than borderline personality disorder. Before we begin, we would like to remind you that the purpose of this video is to create awareness and should in no case be used to self-diagnose. If you find you can relate to these signs, please reach out to a professional for help. With that being said, here are 7 hidden signs of borderline personality disorder. 1. Self-hatred, self-harm. Do you often see the world in extremes and struggle to maintain a sense of identity? One hidden sign of borderline personality disorder is drastically low self-esteem or self-hatred. This creates internal conflict like constant self-criticism, negative self-image, and feeling like you're a bad person. Self-harm is another sign of borderline personality disorder, and this can escalate to suicidal thoughts or attempts at suicide. 2. Difficulty regulating emotions. Do you cycle between periods of intense emotions like emptiness, sadness, anger, and anxiety? People with BPD struggle to feel in control of their emotional responses to situations. This is called affective instability, and it's more intense and longer lasting than hormonal mood swings. Because people with hidden BPD tend to internalize their feelings, their mood swings likely won't be as noticeable to others. It's important to note, however, that intense mood swings can also be a sign of mood disorders, which is why it's so important to get diagnosed by a mental health professional. In some cases, a person may be diagnosed with both borderline personality disorder and a mood disorder such as bipolar. 3. Internalized anger. Intense anger can also be a sign of BPD. Some people verbally or physically lash out at others, brought on by BPD. But in the case of hidden BPD, this anger is turned inwards against the self and in the form of self-hatred, or is suppressed, which is even more lethal. Such anger can also manifest as repeated frustration or extreme irritation when faced with interpersonal stressors that people without BPD or other personality disorders can handle without getting upset. 4. Fear of rejection. Would you agree that rejection is hard to stomach, even in the best of times? For those with BPD, fear of rejection is yet another hidden sign. This could manifest in an irrational fear that loved ones will leave you, social anxiety, or a desire to please everyone around you to try and prevent them from rejecting you. The fact that people with BPD often struggle to maintain relationships only adds to this fear. 5. Unstable relationships. Do you face difficulty maintaining interpersonal relationships like friendships, sibling bonds, or romantic relationships? It can be difficult for people with BPD to preserve relationships because they often idealize, think very highly of, and then romanticize someone for a while, and then devalue or distrust or become disgusted with them. A 2016 study suggests that some people with BPD react to relationship stressors with impulsivity, which generates instability in relations as well. 6. Impulsive decisions. While cycles of impulsive decisions commonly occur in those with bipolar disorder and other mood disorders, they're also a sign of BPD. Examples of impulsive decisions someone with BPD might make are substance abuse, spending or gambling sprees, skipping work or appointments, unprotected sex, binge eating, or reckless driving. Impulsive decisions are a hidden sign of BPD because others may think this impulsivity comes from low impulse control or another mental disorder instead of BPD. And 7. Disassociation. Finally, people with borderline personality disorder may disassociate more frequently and for longer periods of time than typical functioning people. Disassociation is when thoughts or emotions enter your mind and you find yourself incapable of focusing on your actions, instead operating on autopilot or watching yourself do things without feeling connected to your body. Disassociation is a hidden symptom of BPD because others may assume someone who is disassociating is just tired or distracted. Disassociation can also be a symptom of PTSD, or dissociative identity disorder, also known as DID. But if it occurs alongside the other things, it's likely a hidden sign of BPD. It's important to remember that mental disorders affect everyone differently. Not everyone experiences all the symptoms. You might also experience symptoms not listed here. That's why it's so important to seek help from a licensed mental health professional with experience in personality disorders if you think you or someone you love might have BPD. Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with BPD? Are you now better equipped to look out for its hidden symptoms? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.